Good morning. If you want to see how we built this apricot colored TV stand with flush mounted drawer fronts, crystal knobs, 100% pull out drawers, shelves, wheels, the whole spiel. Stay tuned, because that's what we're going to do next. Good morning and welcome to another Memphis Monday. Memphis Monday, what is it, 241? The 33rd week of year 5. Today we're going to build another TV stand. Remember a couple of weeks ago we built a rustic pine TV stand, and my wife saw it and she said, well, I'd like to have a TV stand too. So we took some measurements and I said I'd build it for her. But we're not going to get any building done unless we do what? That's right. We need to have a drink of coffee, knock off the chit chat, and get to work. Here's a rustic TV stand we built a couple of weeks ago. It's got holes down through the tops, through the shelves. It's got removable shelves, drawers. The one we're going to build is not exactly like this, but it has this same feel. Let's go take a look at a sketch of it. Here's a little conceptual sketch of what we're talking about. It's going to be colored roughly the same shape. It's got this long shelf here. It's got the center shelves. The shelves are not going to be removable. They're going to be fixed. And we're not going to have doors. We're going to have drawers. And the whole thing's going to be painted apricot. And it's going to have little wheels on it. I won't go over all these dimensions, but this is a proportional drawing. And it also has the measurements and also has the location of the dados and rabbits. This is our cut list. It also has the dados and rabbits. And here's another sketch here of basically the rabbits and dados are going to be in like 4 different pieces of wood, the first and second shelf and the 2 sides. Here what I've done is I've taken those measurements and drawings we did and cut out the stock. What I'm doing now is laying out the dados. Another thing I like to do is I like to mark in pencil where my dado is going to go. That's a double check. Another kind of a time saver is to make your dados and your rabbits the same thickness, because that way you don't have to change your setup, and your setup is consistent between cuts. Now here I've taken my layup lines and I've projected them down on the side of the board, because when I set it up on the saw, I want the dado blade to exactly fit in that spot right there. Here I've set up a little bottom. I've marked this as the bottom because I want to take my measurements. I want to reference them all from a standard position for both sides, so that, you know, if it's a 1/16 of an inch off, it'll at least be consistent from side to side. Now here I'm doing the rabbit at the top. Now this is somewhat easier to set up because I just want exactly a 3/4 inch rabbit right along the top and the bottom, for the top and bottom to fit in. So I just have to line this edge up with the edge of the saw blade. here you can see I have my dado set lined up exactly with those projected lines, and I've got, remember we marked the back, so we want to line this blade right here up with the lowest line. So I've done that, so we can go ahead and cut it. Now I got all the dados cut, and I got everything laid up here. Here's a scheme. I'm gonna keep the other end clamped up, then I'll nail this end, and then once this end is nailed, I'll go down and do the other end. So I got the other side nailed. Now what I gotta do is, the theory is I can take this off, and it won't come falling down. What I'm doing here is marking the nail lines for the shelves. Here now, I'll just line up these dados. The inner ones are the hardest. Oh man, that'll work good. And I got this sort of zoomed in here. What I'm watching for here is I want these shelves here to line up exactly at the bottom of these dados, or these rabbets. So I'll get this exactly lined up and put a brad in. And here's the second one. It's exactly lined up. Put a brad in. And I'll do the same thing for the ends. And I want to make sure the side here is flush against that dado. Tap it to see what kind of sound it makes. It sounded like it was. Got a dado on the underside of the shelf here, but there's no dado here because they meet up together. So so I got my 18 gauge brad gun here, and I'll be attaching these things from the top and bottom. And here I'll fire in some brads at an angle. Inside. Well, here's our case. What I've got to do now is put the legs on. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The legs are an extension of the trim. So I'll put, it'll be two parts, one part on this side and one part on the outside. And I'll run that up down on all four corners. And then I'll run the trim between the legs. It'll be the same thickness. What we'll do is I'm going to put the wheels on here, and I'll show you the legs then. What I'm doing now is putting the putting the trim on. Now I hope you understand this thing's upside down because I'm going to put the wheels on it, but the legs project up about 3 inches from the case we built, and the legs are just an extension of the trim. So I put a trim piece on the front, trim piece on the side, and then they terminate up here to the leg, and then this trim piece here reinforces the leg from this angle, and then this trim piece reinforces the leg from the other angle. Let's get up on top and look at it from the top. Okay, here I got you zoomed in. You can see what I'm talking about. That's the front trim piece. That's a side trim piece. And then I put this little block of oak, glued it and nailed it in the corner. Then I put these frame pieces, or these trim pieces, connected them that way to give me a good firm leg. And then on that, I'm going to put these tiny little wheels. Okay, I don't exactly know how we're going to flip this thing over and get it on its wheels, but here's the theory. Two-part operation. I'm going to flip it over and get this part on the bench with the wheels hanging over the edges, and then lift the wheels up on the bench one side at a time. Okay, phase one is to get it over on this flat edge here with the wheels hanging over the side. From this precarious position, I'm going to pick it up, roll it a little bit, piece of cake, final roll. Okay, let's see what she looks like. I'll go ahead and do the drawers, and we'll see what she looks like. Well, I got all the trim on here, and I put the drawer guides in, and I'm working on the drawers. Let's make us some drawers. Well, it's time to put the drawer fronts on. Now this is the look we're going for. We're even going for this same color. We want the drawer fronts to be flush with the cabinet front here. So let's get to it. Here are the drawer fronts. They're just pieces of plywood that I've trimmed with little pieces of 1-inch trim. First thing I do is find the exact center of the board. Now this hole here doesn't matter because we're going to be installing these crystal knobs right there, so we have to drill a hole through there anyway. So now the trick is to center this thing. Notice this thing is flush with the drawer face. Now I'm going to put this screw in, theoretically to hold this thing in place. So I don't want to rock around like that. Problem is it's not tight. I need to loosen this thing up. So now we're satisfied that it's straight in the opening. Take some I like to use these pocket hole screws. What I'm doing is a little bit of painting. I'll go ahead and finish this painting and then we'll take a look at it because I think it's about done except for the painting. No takeaways on painting. Because I don't know anything about it. Well, what I'm doing here is installing the knobs for the drawers. I'll go ahead and install these and we'll take a look at it. Well, there's our apricot colored TV stand. For Memphis Monday 241. Got big equipment area here, shelves in the center. Got these large crystal knobs, 100% pull-out drawers on these high dollar drawer slides, flush mounted drawer fronts. Overall, I think it turned out all right. Well, that does it for Memphis Monday 241, the Apricot TV stand. Our Nutrisystems report was 198 this week. I don't have the project over here like I usually do because it's so large, and I got it up on the workbench and the paint's still drying and womp, 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 womp. But anyway, I've been working on this thing for over the course of over a week, so may have a small project next week. I don't know, because I got to catch up because I got another big project planned. It's going to take more than a week, so I got to get going. But anyway, that's all I can think of. A lot of takeaways. I had to cut a lot of it out because just wasn't enough time. Nobody watches those long videos. That's all I can think of. Like, favorite, share, all the stuff you do on the internet. Make sure you comment and ask any questions you have, and we'll have a Memphis answers to answer your question. But anyway, thanks for playing along.